Why did this allegedly proud and ancient people wait until after the Arabs had suffered their ignominious and devastating defeat in the 6 Days' War at the hands of Israel? Did they, all of a sudden and miraculously, find their alleged peoplehood and nationhood? I hope that everyone should avoid the temptation to trace the modern-day Palestinians to the biblical Philistines, because substituting etymology for history will also not work. Disgustingly, this is exactly what the present desperate Arab so-called scholars of Islam are attempting to do. If one asks the Muhammadan Muslims of 1,500 million, including the alleged Palestinians, why are they called Palestinians, the probability of getting the correct answer would be almost zero. I shall now enlighten Ummat Muhammad of 1,500 million with the following devastating and unchallengeable facts. The name Palestinian is derived from the Hebrew Bible calling the Greeks, who had settlements on the coast where Gaza is, Plishtim, almost 3,500 years ago. This name, Plishtim, can only be found in the Bible, and nowhere else, including all the records of the Arabs over the last 3,500 years. I would like to point out once more that these people, the Plishtim, were Greeks, not Arabs. After the death of King Solomon, his kingdom was divided into two states, Israel with its capital Samaria, and Judea with its capital Jerusalem. This is exactly why the Jews are called Jews. Not because their religion is Jewish, but because of the name of their country of origin, Judea. Just like the English are so called for being born in England, and the Chinese because of China. So are the Jews so called because the name of the country of their nativity was Judea. Israel was conquered and many of its people were taken as slaves by the Assyrians. Judea survived a lot of vicissitudes, but was finally subjugated by the Roman Empire as the province of Judea. So-called believers and unbelieving kuffar, please remember that Jesus died on the cross as King of the Jews, crucified by the Romans over 2,000 years ago in the kingdom of Judea, in its capital Jerusalem, and there was not a single Palestinian or a country called Palestine in sight. The ardently monotheistic Jews staged 3 major rebellions against the Roman occupation of their land and the desecration of the Temple of Solomon, the last of which was that of Bar Kokhba, 132 to 135 AD. After this bloody rebellion, the victorious Roman Emperor Hadrian purposefully changed the name of the province from Judea to Syria Palestina, and Jerusalem, its capital, to Aelia Capitolina, in an attempt to erase the historical and spiritual ties of the Jewish people to their nation. To humiliate and denigrate the rebellious Jews, he deliberately changed the name of the kingdom Judea to Syria Palestina, because as a learned man, he knew that the Philistine Greeks were among the worst enemies of the Israelites. He also changed the name of their capital Jerusalem to Aelia Capitolina, thus honoring the name of his wife, Aelia. The truth should be obvious to everyone and anyone who wants to know it. The Arabs of 330 millions have never abandoned their dream of destroying Israel of 5 million Jews. They still cherish it today. Having time and again failed to achieve their evil goal by military means, they decided to fight Israel by proxy. For that purpose, they transformed the Arabs of Judea, Samaria, and Gaza into an ad hoc group, and as they publicly asserted, they cynically called it the Palestinian people. The so-called Palestinians have only one publicly and repeatedly declared motivation: the utter destruction of Israel, and that, as far as I'm concerned, is not a good enough reason to consider them a nation. It is one of the most remarkable of ironies that it was Muammar al-Gaddafi, the maverick Libyan leader, who addressed a gathering of Arab heads of state summit and brought to their attention similar points that I have asked, and then adding insult to injury, said the following: the only way to achieve peace in the Middle East is for the Arab countries to acknowledge and accept Israel and to pay Israel reparations for the more than 50 years of devastation they have visited on it. 1400 years ago, Muhammad, the consummate pirate of the desert, robbed, raped, enslaved and slaughtered the pagan Arabs, Christian Arabs, and Judaized Arabs. That was not enough for him, so he graduated to plagiarizing, plundering, pirating, and or perverting from their scriptures, traditions, and fetishes to concoct and compose his Quran, as well as a worthy ancestry for himself by pretending that all his verses were revealed to him by Allah, the supreme God of the pagan Arabs. His modern followers, the Muhammadan Arabs, in complete emulation of their mentor Muhammad and his Sunnah, concocted the myth of the so-called Palestinian people 1400 years later. Nothing ever changes in the depravities of the cult followers of Muhammad. Even after the lapse of 14 centuries, nothing ever changes. In conclusion, can anyone show the world any physical proof to indicate if there ever was an entity called Palestine and its people, the Palestinians? Can any Arab or so-called Palestinian disprove or refute anything I have just revealed, based entirely on answering the valid and logical questions that I have asked? Can any so-called Palestinian or any other human being answer the very simple but relevant questions above? I would like very much to hear from them. If not, why not? I rest my case.